Hello, today I'd like to talk about Rumble, and well, I just got back from PAX, so my voice is not so great, but so I apologize for that. But well, firstly, well, I want to specifically talk about the implementation of Rumble because it's not necessarily straightforward. So, if you look at an Xbox 360 controller, and I'm pretty sure like the PlayStation controllers are similar. I don't know. It's been a while since I looked at it, but you're programming it with X input. You essentially have control over two things. You have the left motor and the right motor speed, and I can't remember which is which, but one is like heavy rumble and the other is like light rumble. Now, something that I tried to do in the latest build is sort of have rumble like increase linearly. So basically what I've found, and I think I discovered this previously, I can't remember, I did a bunch of rumble stuff for Retrograde 2 and it was challenging as well, but basically the motors don't, well, the light rumble basically, is just sort of the little buzzing. It doesn't have that really good kick to it. That basically scales up linearly fine, but the problem is, your max impact is kind of weak and lame. Now the other motor has the good kick, but the problem is that it essentially, if you drive it too slowly, like if you just send it a little bit, you basically can't feel it at all. And then there's a certain point where you can feel it, and then it doesn't really get much stronger, or doesn't feel as much stronger. So I tried playing with all sorts of curves and, experimenting with blending, and I think I've done this on past games, even like PS2 games, and I don't know if I've ever figured out anything perfect. But I mean, basically what I settled on is, well, we're using SDL, and it has like a special rumble thing, and then that I guess it's more cross-platform and better, and it just basically sets the speed to both motors at the same intensity. And I think that was the best solution. Also, something to note, and I was sort of trying, I thought it would be interesting, is that, a left rumble versus a right rumble. So, like, if there's a monster stomping by, you could feel which direction it's coming from. Unfortunately, that's not really possible. Because basically you just feel the entire controller rumble. But anyway, so I'm reasonably satisfied with what we have now, and there is sort of a point where you can feel the other motor kick in, and so it doesn't feel quite linear. But as near as I can figure, there's not a way around it. So the other interesting thing with Rumble we've been doing is with the Steam controller. So the Steam controller doesn't support Rumble at all. The Steam controller supports haptic feedback, which basically the way it works is if your fingers are on these thingies, it will, you can send little pulses. It has a little actuator that will pulse it, and then your finger can feel it. But your fingers essentially have to be, making contact with the thing. I don't think you can really feel the actuators. I don't think they really shake the controller. So, one of the things we're doing with Retrograde... I'm wearing a Retrograde shirt, if that counts for anything. But no, Neverending Nightmares is... so with the Steam controller, basically, one of them emulates an analog stick. So you move your finger around, and it's just like you're on an analog stick. So, I'm going one direction, I'm going the other, and the other. And then I'm doing sort of a GameCube thing where this other thing is a button. It's just like a big A, to interact button. So it's kind of like, you know, you keep your fingers here. You don't have to press any of the weird buttons. I don't know. With the new layout, I haven't used that, but presumably it will be better to use like the buttons. But since we only have one button plus the shoulders, I think this works nicely. You know, because it is a button. You do press it. But so what the interesting thing is, then we have a unique opportunity to have, you know, feedback for left side and feedback for the right side. You know, since your finger will be presumably, you know, moving the character around, and you just rest your finger on here and then press it when you'd like to. So what I've been working on, and I'm not completely finished yet, is the idea of rumble using the haptic motor. And so I haven't been able to, well, it's not going to be rumble exactly, and at least in my initial testing, it's more like a, you know, sort of a massage vibration, because basically what I've found is if I drive the actuator, you know, with a lot of short pulses, it will, you know, create sort of a significant impact. The only interesting thing I found, and maybe this won't be an issue with the actual Steam controller, is that, like, if I drive it to, I think if I do like 2 big pulses, it gets loud. The controller gets loud, so I'm not sure there's really a way around that. I don't know if they'll fix it, but in a newer build, not the one we just pushed out, but like in our development build, we have rumble on and off, because some people don't like rumble, and I totally respect that. I mean, I wouldn't want to design a game that requires rumble, because, you know, I mean, like, if you're precision gaming, you don't want the thing shaking on your hand or anything, and certainly, you know, if the noise of the controller bothers you for the Steam controller, we definitely want to be able to turn that off. But I mean, it's sort of a brave new world, and it's sort of interesting, and I hope you know, we try something cool with the Steam controller and sort of the vibration, not exactly rumble, and see if people like it. And I mean, really, there's no way to find out if it's, you know, something people will like or not, you know, without trying it. But basically, so then the cool part is then we'll have, you know, vibration from the left and vibration from the right, and you'll be able to feel it. So like if the monster, I mean, obviously, you know, we do everything with audio cues as well, but I think it would be neat to add that sort of you know, spatialization to the rumble. So, you know, you'll feel a character on the right and versus feel a character on the left. So I know that's sort of what I've been working on here and there, and it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to try and sort of retrofit Rumble on the haptic API, you know, that's sort of designed for providing, you know, feedback at discrete times. But I think it might be cool. I think people also might not like it, but I don't know. It's something I want to try, and I think it's working with the Steam controller, at least in my opinion, is kind of exciting. It's kind of a brave new world, so to speak, of figuring out what works and what doesn't. So that's exciting for me as a game developer, as I imagine a lot of you know, new hardwares and platforms and VR and things like that are to most game developers. So that's, I guess, all I have to say about Rumble for now, and I guess probably the next build will have some sort of Steam controller Rumble haptic feedback vibration, but I don't know how many people out there actually have these things. But anyway, thanks for watching.